Yes, for you see, Phoenix, it was I that was brought in by a publisher. You can never escape my clutches.
Von Carmen, no! You're supposed to be dead like twice over!
I am inevitable, Phoenix. You will never be free. This is my turnabout. And strictly speaking, thank you, Capcom, for the very generous sponsorship for tonight's broadcast. As for you see, I have been brought back from the dead for one night only. And the Ace Attorney Investigations collection is now available on multiple platforms. And if you type !Ace Attorney in the chat, you shall receive a link to procure the game for yourself. Experience the adventures of my bastard son, rendered with a new art style for a modern generation.
Hello, everyone. We're back. For one night only. Ace Attorney Investigations officially brought to you by Capcom. Thank you very much. This is a new re-release of classic Ace Attorney games, where you follow the adventures of Miles Edgeworth. They have a new art style slapped on, a lot of new graphical enhancements. I just think this is fucking cool. It is an honor to be actually sponsored by Capcom for this. If you like what you see tonight, pick it up for yourself. ! Ace Attorney in chat. We're gonna go a while. I wish this night never ends. You're all very welcome. Let me do this to make sure this is working. There we go. I got my controller set up. Sound check. We good? Okay, let's go. New game. We're gonna play in HD. Look at this. You can play with the retro graphics for it if you want. But they have a new coat of paint. Episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. Start from this episode. It's not every day I get to do an ad read as Manfred von Karma, so give this to me, chat.
Please give me this moment.
Von Sponsor, no! Let's go. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. To make sure the defendant is found guilty. What other choice do I have? That's a job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough. But a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. Is that... Wait, that's not him, is it? No, I think he's shooting someone. Okay, just a day in the life for Phoenix Wright characters and Ace Attorney. I thought that was him for a moment. Before I forget, Merry Christmas. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. March 14th, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutors building. 12th floor hallway. You know, you think after a certain point, enough people have been, like, murdered in the court of laws that occupy the Ace Attorney universe that, like, they'd just close it down. Like, maybe the law just isn't worth it. Here he is. It's hard to believe I've been away from my office for, a whole 2 years, actually. I think it's been a while since we played. Here he is! I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? Huh? What's it smell? It's very familiar. Blood! How many people have died in Edgeworth's office? I feel like there was at least one other murder that took place here. Or like some kind of crime that was committed. What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze. Oh no, it's not Gumshoe, it's a different guy. Identify yourself. Shut up! Huh. You've got some nerve committing murder in a prosecutor's office. But that was just unnecessary. Is that a threat? Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Oh, he's just gonna walk away. Okay. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home, after a month abroad, I will be thrust into a multitude of cases, and some very frantic and busy days. March 14, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Oh, this is forensics, actually. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct that earns a very low salary. The one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Look! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say. The culprits sullied my floor with dirt rather well. Edgeworth, there's a guy literally dead behind you, okay? Like, having to get the Dyson out is the least of your concerns. No one gets away with trekking mud into my office. Again, a man is dead. Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Ho ho, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? Ooh. I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. Key to your office. For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. What do you mean, sir? Well, it's a simple mechanism to stop intruders entering my premises without prior notice. But that's not important right now, Gumshoe. If you think about it clearly and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? I find the connection between two pieces of information. Connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. Oh, my God! I can't believe the Ace Attorney franchise invented logic. Truly breaking new ground. Oh, no way. So how do you use it? Poor Gumshoe. I can hear his salary being cut. First, I recall the information we've gathered with left bumper, and then I connect them together with Y. That might not mean anything to you, Gumshoe, but to you at home, gentle wink. Now, to use left bumper and recall the facts. Let me enter my mind palace, Gumshoe. A crime scene in my office. And the key. I mean, these gotta be connected. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks. Which means it would be very hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's a beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to a conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Begin investigation. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. When I want to examine something, I simply use A when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use Y, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. We're so back. Look at this. Gotta get to move about in the world. Like, this in itself is new. We couldn't do this before. Yeah, I mean, I should probably look at the gun that's on the ground. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I mean, they kind of just dropped it on the ground. I think I've seen one of these before. Better enlighten me as to where. Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. Like, I understand the sentiment here. At the same time, they're the officers of the law, and maybe that should be normal. I don't know. It depends on the country. I guess in Ireland it's weird. I can't believe Gumshoe's the murderer anyway. That's a real twist. He's going away a long time. Hey, Lord, think about it. You do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies. That's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. Okay, that's important information. So it's gotta be someone on the inside. Oh, my chessboard is all over the floor. You even knocked over your chess set, sir. I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. But right now, there's a dead man on the ground. God, I picked a bad day to hold off picking up my dry cleaning. This is really gonna inconvenience me. In fact, this could be the worst day of my life. Man is dead on the ground. So I don't expect the games to tax my mental activity acuity much. He's so mean, that Edgeworth. He's so mean. Finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Let's see. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. Yeah, Gumshoe, that's a wallet. I know you're not familiar with the concept of having financial security, but these are quite common in the day-to-day world. Oh no, it's a police badge, detective. Okay, sorry. Oh hey, I have the exact same thing actually. What a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Mr. Buddy Fate. Look at this goober. It appeared our victim was a detective, just like you. Okay. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Gotta calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Okay, I don't know if I want to do that just yet. I feel like there's lot more I could gather. Your files are all over the floor, sir. He probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. There was a struggle. Oh, they tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. I think Gumshoe could be the killer. Well, I water the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Buddy, he's helping you. You don't need to be so tsundere, as they say in the business. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. There's a comment I want to make, but I'm sponsored by Capcom, so I won't. Looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. It's the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. Keep all the evidence I find, either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press RB to open my organizer. The organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. He's really got a mind palace, wow. This explains a lot about Edgeworth. I categorize it all as information. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Alright, blood investigated. Just the bookshelf? I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight. Not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. Problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back up on the shelf. I mean, earthquakes are probably quite common in, what is it, like, Japanofornia that we're in? I mean, that's like the epicenter of, like, 2 different earthquake hotspots. Watch over the teacup fragments there, sir. That killer is gonna pay. This tea set. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. Oh wow, he's got some fancy dishes. What? I would feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. It's been a while since I've sat at this desk. Oh, how I've missed you. It's so tidy it looks newer than when I first bought it. Oh yeah, the thing's so polished it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had nowhere to work the entire time I was away, detective. My job was to protect your office, sir. And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. Oh no, there goes his salary. Cheater Sad, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone else for giving subs for the hype trail of that too. It's good to see you here. I know a lot of you are very excited to see me play some of this. This is for you. I hope you enjoy it tonight. Again, big thanks to Capcom. I couldn't say no to the opportunity to just like kind of like go back in the saddle. You know, I really couldn't. Edgeworth is so mean. Like genuinely. Like, look at this smug look he's got in his face. Like, yeah, you sure showed him, Edgeworth. Someone's dead. That'll show, Gumshoe. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit the desk has never looked better. So I guess I can't dock his pay. Oh, Steel Samurai's here. It's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but... Hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai. And his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate, It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and The Nickel Samurai, along with the deluge of merchandise, and even a new stage show gives a presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Oh, please, Gumshoe. I'm somewhat of what they call an otaku in the industry. You wouldn't know about this. Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. That's right, your old man. Your old man knows the funny anime words too. Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers?
Ones that come with a card attached every month, like clockwork for you. Yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy.
Oh, Miss Irony. How painful are thy thorns. Wendy. Isn't that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that's stuck? Oh, wait, was that Old Bag? I think I remember Old Bag. That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further.
Why doesn't anyone like my character?
Wendy, no. Okay, we can talk to the officer.
You called, sir?
Oh. Have you noticed anything, Gumshoe? Is there anything you've noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe?
Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation's just gotten started. Well, I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth?
Unfortunately, upon my return, I found the office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair.
Ouch, that's rough.
Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective.
Sorry, sir. Oh, gee.
I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe.
Of course, sir. Examine anything and everything with A. I checked various things out. You can gather all sorts of evidence and information. You can see the evidence we collected with RB.
Okay, so this is like your little tutorial reminder. Edgeworth's, well, Gumshoe's struggling a little bit. That's okay. It's been a hot minute since he's been back in the detective saddle.
Deductive reasonable is the way to go.
It's called deductive reasoning, Detective. Clearly something you lack. Poor Gumshoe. I seem to have picked up a few good leads.
Oh, so now you're going to do that thing you do with all that information, right?
What are you babbling about?
Where do you think you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir? Logic. You said you could look at all of your leads and info by pressing LB. And you can pick the ones that seem related with A and connect them, but why? That's your way of investigating, right, sir?
Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary. How does Edgeworth have any friends? Genuine question. He doesn't.
Okay, I'll explain my logic to you next.
It's even more unnecessary. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. Okay, what else can I investigate? Desk.
Oh, it's your trophy. The, Knight of Prosecutors, right?
King of prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield.
You only send this to the winning prosecutor, right?
Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime.
Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Jesus Christ, Edge. Give the man a bit of self-esteem. Give him a chance. It's case one. You're gonna have, like, you have a lot of time yet to pick it apart any confidence he's got. Give him a moment. Oh. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. I hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return the relaxant on this sofa.
That thing sure looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit in it too? Just for a little while, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest.
You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end.
And once this case is over, I don't think you can afford to take any time off. Oh my god. Can I investigate my outfit in the frame? Forensics is underway. I don't think I can reach it right now. I think that's every piece of evidence that I can interact with for now. It looks it. Here's our information. The prosecutor's badge. Proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Oh, this might be important later. This is my badge, and it proves that I am a prosecutor. The bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Body was found around 2:05 a.m. Buddy Fate was the victim. Oh god, he's supposed to be as old as me. Oh no. Gumshoe's 32. I thought Gumshoe was older for some reason. Okay, it's time to use logic. Okay, there were signs of a struggle. The revolver was found at the crime scene. According to his badge ID, Buddy Fate was a precinct detective. Okay, so victim was a detective, and the revolver used belonged to a detective. Connect. Logic activate. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to a recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. The guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that a killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Okay, victim's revolver data. Jot it down in my organizer. It can be assumed that this gun is the murder weapon. It was issued to the victim. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You could use RS to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. It's LB and RB to zoom it out to get the nitty gritty.
Oh god, okay, we had this, like, I think in, like, Rise from the Ashes? It was, like, the bonus case in, like, Game 1. We haven't seen this mechanic in a while. Looks like only one round was fired from this.
Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him.
Okay, but wait. There's one shot there that seems to have killed someone, but then there's also a bullet that was fired at the portrait of my suit on the wall. Or just my old suit prosecutor's outfit hung up on the wall. Okay, so there's an inconsistency there. So there's a second gun.
Sounds like the guy who had a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
We have no proof for now. That is a distinct possibility. This is about all we're going to find out. Just send the body out the body to Jim!
Why, oh why? How could this happen to a guy like you?
Are you alright?
Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be!
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body! The body! Don't talk about him like that, he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
I'm sure. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal.
Where are my manners?
Enter that prosecutor.
Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and unlike you, I am also a prosecutor. I have a badge in my pocket that proves it. If you need to see.
Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So, you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office.
Yes, that is correct.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim!
Okay, so he's very clearly trying to frame us. I mean, I think we know it's him because we did have a cheeky cutscene at the start of this case showing him encountering the guy. You know, there's a sneaking suspicion here. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not. I know how things work around here. My prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door.
That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? But the only one who could get in there was me. Ho, 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 ho. Wait, that means... Oh, Nelly, what have I done?
So it's you then? You're Jim's killer.
Don't worry, pal, you've got it all wrong.
Everyone, calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you're a real prosecutor, you should know how to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know? Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
Oh, I don't know about this Edgeworth. I don't think he's gonna get something incriminating there. Don't give your fingerprints. A pleasure to work with you.
You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then, it's your room after all.
Thank you, I intend to.
I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there.
Sir.
I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewells to my partner, Jim. I want to record a little TikTok to pay homage with his passing. Make sure his followers are informed that his lifeless corpse is on the office floor. What's up, gamers? It's your boy.
I should probably give them some space. Okay, but I can investigate here now.
Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor?
It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around.
The killer not only shot the victim, they shot your jacket as well. They dared to shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made at your prosecutorial debut in. Well, if they had shot through it, it would have been a disaster.
I don't dare to think about what would have happened if my jacket got shot. I might have had to check in with dear old Dad and...
Believe me, he would have been most upset to see the damage.
It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Oh, like what?
I take it you haven't noticed yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us.
Really?
It's that contradiction. It must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. My ex-boyfriend. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. But I have my own methods and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. Okay, yeah, there's two shots, and there's only one shot fired in the gun. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press Y with conviction. When I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. Okay, only one shot fired. We gotta check here. Looks like only one round is fired from this.
Oh, so the killer killed the victim with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him. Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
You have no proof for now. That is a distinct possibility. Is that not it? No, that's not it. I think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger.
You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. You take off before it's fired. Everyone always ends up following your lead.
Chase you down for a false start, detective.
And you mentioned it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place.
Oh my god, he was shot by a horse! No, guys, please. Okay, zoom out. Am I missing something? Oh no, you just click present. You don't need to examine it again. My god. Gumshoe. 2 shots. We have 2 recorded shots, but only 1 bullet spent. That surely means that this badge proves that I'm a prosecutor. This is clearly where the contradiction lies.
I don't really see what's so wrong with that spot.
Ha! You don't understand? You see, therein lies the contradiction.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir. It'd be nice if you just admit when you're wrong.
That wasn't a mistake. That was me keeping you on your toes, detective. Okay, I gotta get it in at least once. Okay, present. This bullet hole is the contradiction.
What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim. And the second felled his frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once.
Hey, that's true, too.
Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here?
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
Ah, that. It's a secret safe where I keep my finances. You wouldn't be familiar with that concept, Gumshoe.
A secret safe? Oh, I smell money.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that. Oh, shoo! Shoo! Talk about dusty.
I suppose this is what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe here. I would have kept it clean for you, sir. When did you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
What's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
Secret safe data. Jot it down. This is going to be important for some reason. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why yet. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Let me see. I mean, it looks like this was cleaned.
This is odd. You've had some, sir.
This keypad. I find it to be a bit too clean.
Ah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it. Not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find any, let alone lift a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. Okay, yep, so someone knew about the safe. So someone was looking for something here. Did someone access my safe? Did I have a gun that was stored in here? I don't think so. I'd be a bit surprised. As I thought, all the evidence is pointing towards Gumshoe. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. There's more I can investigate here. I think.
I never knew there was a safe hidden back here.
Well, detectives knew about them, and they wouldn't be secret now, would they?
Are there any other secret hidden things in this room?
Even if there were, it would defeat the purpose of them being hidden if I told you. So don't bother looking for them.
So there's no, like, hidden camera around, right?
And what if there was?
Ah, no, it's nothing. How can I said anything? God forbid we're being broadcast live to the world in this moment to 3,000 viewers.
Do I even want to ask what he's been doing in my office while I've been away? Okay, this is gonna require some logic. We can investigate here. Mr. Portsman, a word if I may.
Jim, I swear I'll find your killer and bring him to justice. You wait and see. Be for the both of us. And you wanted to talk to me about something.
No, that's alright. I feel like I'm interrupting their conversation. How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. This picture is too important to mess up. Leave this man to his art. Okay, for this next shot, act like a lion. Okay. Mine Palestine. Okay, there must have been another handgun. Okay, killer's goal and the white fingerprints. Why does it happen in my office? What was the killer after? Okay, I mean, these paint that there's something happening here. I believe I figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. He was trying to rob someone, but what? I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Culprit tried to open my safe. Was the killer's motive theft? There was a struggle as well. Connect them. There's a possibility that the file splayed on the floor, and not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could have been from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure.
Why do all the good ones always die young?
Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth.
No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth.
And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth?
First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place.
You got it. Here, let me help.
Oh, so this file goes here, or that book goes in there.
Sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done.
Oh, okay, that's a lot of bloody handprints. Okay. A lot happening. I think a third bullet was fired as well. Oh my god, he's got 4 arms. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. What gave it away, Edward?
One says that the bookshelf is still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in the standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
And the guy fell on the floor, right? Blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
Oh, well, you know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Okay, well, there's 2 sets of handprints. There is a bullet hole right here.
This is where the bullet lodged herself after it went through the victim, huh?
Oh, he was shot while he was on the ground. Oh, he was knocked to the ground and shot. Okay. The bullet to be lodged so squarely in the file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred.
I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way.
The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf.
Blood in this guy's pants proves that pretty well.
In a sense, I suppose.
See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. The victim's handprints.
He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot.
There were prints on the floor, too.
This must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. what about the files? Put them all back, just so they should be, sir. Oh, I think they're in order. I think they're actually in order there, look. Just following it, just seeing if there's anything awry. Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. They were looking for the safe then. Okay. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot.
Oh, that's why the seat of the victim's pants is blood in it.
That would be the logical conclusion. Either that or he had a particularly bad case of big burrito, as we say. Sorry. Okay, we can deduce from here. But I gotta deduce on something? This spot's somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. No, it's not. Okay, I don't want to deduce here. Handprints. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The abdomen. The body was found around 2:05 a.m. Okay, well, there's blood here, and then he's shot down here, right? So it doesn't. Unless he got shot, picked himself up, and then fell over, it doesn't quite make sense. He was shot while he was on the ground. So I'm guessing it's something to do with the bullet hole. He did a handstand. My God, in his final moments. It went clean through his abdomen. Eureka! There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
What do you mean, sir?
You don't see. Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
Or if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against this shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
That means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, just gonna take a little dig at you there. It means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? It's the position of the handprints. The position of the handprints is what's causing this problem. We wouldn't be in this dilemma if the handprints were closest to the ground.
The handprints are where they are, up top.
Yes, you are quite perceptive, which is why it is not a viable hypothesis.
Oh, so this was just a what if? Then what's the right answer?
You still can't figure it out. Then allow me to explain.
Yes, please, sir.
Guess he didn't notice the slip-up. Although at this point, I shouldn't be surprised. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I mean, 1 sec as well. Just taking a cheeky sip of my drink. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem? The bullet hole's position. Are the files back the wrong way around? They actually could be. It could actually just be the wrong shelf. Position of the body. I'm actually gonna go with the files. I believe the order of the files is a bit off.
I mean, I put them back in the wrong order just now. Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah. You see how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? Well, those do it all the way down there, after 1, 2, and 3. That's really weird.
Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files are not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we found out. Okay, so there we go. So that makes more sense how they were shot.
You think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
Finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. Did we just pick him up? Kind of looks like we decapitated this poor guy too. Excuse me, buddy. Faye, I'm gonna need to get you into position here. His head is gone. Gumshoe, what did you do? It's like, Gumshoe, you've gone way too far. I said prop the body up. He's just been decapitated. As suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. Wait, why does it say Gumshoe upside down on the other files? I didn't even notice that over there. Look at that on the right. It's upside down. My god, Gumshoe was the killer. He's being heavily framed. Gumshoe, what have you done? First you killed the man, then you decapitate him. As suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Fate.
Then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly. And then proceed to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? And the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look.
I mean, this is quite noteworthy. This. What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence.
Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait. There's got to be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir.
It appears that one of my files was stolen.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
This is what the killer was really after. He just doesn't care. Ah, one of my binders is missing. My precious, precious Pokemon cards I keep in my prosecutor's office.
Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. This most important message managed to reach us.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me.
You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party.
If you're going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up.
Jim's words are more than enough, wouldn't you say?
That's what you want to, how you want to play it. Then at least allow me to understand your reasoning.
You got it.
I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do?
What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique.
Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? I might need to go to court soon myself.
Maybe some other time. No, might as well. Get a refresher. At first, I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with RB and present the piece of contradictory evidence. Then something I simply use Y, but that's old news.
Well, it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, right?
Correct, and at those times I need to press the witness with LB. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony.
I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations, too.
Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now, watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic.
Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Next to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. It'll be by his final words that he will be brought to justice.
You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer.
I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest.
Koga, thank you for 1100 bits. Thank you very much. I saw that meme too. Thank you. Are you sure you're mishearing his words, Mr. Portsmouth? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I'll find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with credible evidence. Okay, so now we gotta go through it. We have press and present. Stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. I wonder if we could just present, like, the picture? No, we don't actually even have the picture. Okay, I can press this.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask.
Huh? What is it?
Why do you call the victim Jim? When clearly his name is Buddy Fay.
Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jackson Jim. Do the two names go together like peanut butter and jelly?
No, not really.
But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name.
Well, Jackson Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim.
Mr. Disco, thank you for 1,000 bits. Wait a second, that's not Jax Portsman. That's Don Tigray. Oh my god, he's done it again. Master of disguise. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Or do you mess with the files to make it look like you committed theft instead?
Hold it!
Okay, we gotta press everything. You really think it was necessary to just have on my shelves twice to do that?
That's true. Okay, maybe his real intent was theft.
Hey, you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth?
It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle.
You know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but...
Oh no, Gumshoe.
Poor thing. What an evil prosecutor you were paired up with. What a motive, no?
That's when you move Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Okay, I can present on this. Well, no, because it's clear he was standing, wasn't it? No, press it.
Hold it!
Why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing?
His body was getting in his way. You had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway.
No, there was a sign of a struggle. You didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Also, it's upside down. Yeah, go back through it. I think that third piece. His final words that you'll be brought to justice. Okay, go back. Gigantic flaw in his logic. Gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. He'll clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Okay, go back through it. You messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. Wait, that was the wrong one. Sorry, I meant to click present there. Okay, I think I gotta go back through it. Wait, bullet went clean through the abdomen. Move the body. Can I just use left to go back? I can. Okay. Thank you. I don't need to go through it all. That's nice. That's when you move Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Yeah, but like, the body was... Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Yeah, but the letters... If he moved the body... his body was covering the letters after it was moved. Moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. I think I present this. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman. There's a serious flaw in your logic.
Bring another bit to the court. Bit of the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game.
I can't help but find it odd.
Excuse me?
Odd that a fellow prosecutor will be brought down by the power of his own office.
What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Ha ha ha.
If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see it? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file.
What? That's impossible.
What's impossible, Mr. Portsman?
Nothing.
The files in that bookshelf are all about a certain case. If it's DL6 again, I'm gonna lose my mind. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
It's possible they could have been taking the file before committing the murder.
I think it's pretty obvious the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be as proof.
Yeah, I mean, the arse is gone. There's only half an H.
Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood in the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood.
Ah!
Which means
what exactly? What does it make this dying message?
it makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene.
That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You will see. I'm gonna have him under arrest in no time.
Well, Mr. Portsman?
Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold.
I was wondering why he was wearing a medal. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed.
You win some, you lose some. That's how life goes.
Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive.
But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however.
What is it this time? You still after me, pal?
Humor me for a second. Who is the key to this office?
That would be me. Mr. Edgeworth just proved that I'm innocent, pal.
Let me just show you the t-shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah, it's a nice designer brand I've got here, Gucci.
He just wants to show it off a bit. He's gonna praise the sun a moment.
That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence.
Why do I sense that you still have something to say?
Let me just flash my pecs again. Well, I was thinking. Did you know that there is one other person with a key to this office?
One other person?
Hey, you there.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Would you be kindly fetch and escort that young lady here for me? The lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness.
Security? You say security? No, stop it, pal, don't!
What's wrong with him all of a sudden?
I believe she needs no introduction. I've called upon Miss Maggie Bird, a member of security.
We haven't seen her in a while. Detective Gumshoe, sir!
Maggie! Miss Bird is the security guard on watch tonight.
I see. And your point is?
My point is that she could very well have used it. By it, I mean the master key, which could open all the office doors in this building.
What?
You are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe. And the only other person with access to this room is Miss Bird.
How dare you! I would never sneak into someone's room!
That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right, I did it.
No, Gumshoe.
Do we take that as a confession, Detective?
Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you'd have no problems with that, right?
Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theatrics.
Listen to your boss, Detective. He understands what I'm saying here.
Man likes to flap, like just show his shirt.
That girl's the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason.
Oh, he's struggling with his coat. We just leave him here. Oh, curse these damn fangled sleeves. I just can't get it off. Reason for suspicion.
It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. We have Detective Gumshoe and the one who opened the door. That leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Make it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message.
So you're saying she used the master key? Okay, its use is controlled by security staff.
Incredibly incriminating evidence, wouldn't you say?
That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well.
That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally.
Okay, he's like a sportsman. He doesn't want to lose.
It's all about your reflexes and reaction time. Especially for an athlete like
Me. What's it? Jacques Sportsman. I'm trying to think what the pun is, because there usually is some kind of pun. Jacques Sportsman. He's a jock sportsman. Okay. There we go. I wonder if there was anyone else other than Miss Bird who could have used the master key. Seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsman to give me more details is to press him. Okay, reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. Press it. Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key?
there's only one person on staff at this time of night. Tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird?
That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to. What's that supposed to mean? Was she somewhere else? Does she have an alibi?
Yes, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated.
What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal.
You can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time.
I hear Miss Bird out. Yeah, like she might just have an alibi. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say.
Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear lies.
I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you?
I can't believe that someone like you will be taken in by such words.
I'm not lying, sir.
If that's the case, I'd like to know. Why you have the master key now?
I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir.
A likely story. Was you proved that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again.
I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it.
Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is.
She's been incriminated, almost been found guilty of murder like twice already. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive.
Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth.
Yeah, but still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Her motive? Didn't we already establish it was theft? I mean, if the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried to the safe.
As Mr. Portsman says, Detective, can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Hint from the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. I mean, that kinda checks out. I don't know if we'll gain valuable information from that. I don't know if there's anything we can really refute. Body was found at around 2 a.m., so it was about an hour after the fact. Van's just trying to take flight in the background as he flaps his jacket. Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. That leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which she knows our good detective, doesn't she? All the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. But like, if she knows Gumshoe and is friends with Gumshoe, why would she fake the message? And there's still the case of a missing folder.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, there's a large flaw in your logic.
Really, I think it holds up rather well, actually. What do you think is wrong with it?
Okay, no, that's not correct. Ah, nothing. Let's move on.
This isn't like you at all, sir. Concentrate.
That was careless of me. I can't afford to do that or the truth will slowly slip away. Remain calm, Miles. It's the only way. She knows our good detective, doesn't she? Okay, so what am I looking to present? You can open every office door. It was stolen from the security office. But it was stolen. Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door. That leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. But the key was stolen. Is there anything on the key? It's a master key to every office in the building. Nothing incriminating here. Present the key. It was stolen. I must object to your line of logic. No? We know the key was missing.
Get cool, Mr. Edgeworth. You're no good when you're all flustered.
I'm surprised it's not that. Okay. Calm down, Miles. I guess he doesn't think it's missing, but... Ted from the messed up shelves of the white unsafe, I'd say thievery. Okay, press this.
Hold it!
Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions?
You're saying there's another way to open the door than with the master key. Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else.
I'll have you know, I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating?
None. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would.
No? I'm just going back through. From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. Each prosecutor, only they know of them. Okay, yeah, so no one knows about the safe. It has to be a prosecutor. That's it.
Objection!
We gotcha. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set and stealing something?
Why not? It's the truth after all. It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway.
That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. The existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was part of her cunning plan.
But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down.
I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted.
Yeah.
Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either.
Then are you
proposing that the killer is a prosecutor?
Interesting conclusion. It's definitely looking more and more probable.
He's sweating.
What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now?
Aye. Curses, why? What made you?
What's with the angry face all of a sudden?
It's all my fault.
What do you mean? Can we get the music a little louder? I did ask for a sound check. Is the sound good? Sound good? We'll just check. Might be one guy. Sounds fine. Yep. I'll adjust it like a notch. And then outside of that, I recommend turning up your volume. It always feels weird. Like it feels like such like a pointless remark. Music's quiet. Well, just turn it up. Make it louder. But like I actually quite like the balance that I've got going, so I'm gonna just adjust it a notch. I'm in a construction site. Can you turn it up? Yeah, sure thing.
It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes.
What'd you just say?
We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. So I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes.
That means.
Yeah, I know. I'd only just told him too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. Still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim.
Now he's claiming the victim was the thief.
And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird.
Excuse me?
I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession.
What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder.
Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it?
No, I couldn't. You can never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir.
Plus, even if she was a thief, she wouldn't have a key to this office.
Which is precisely why you had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key.
Ah,
Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless... Well, unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him.
Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief?
I don't want to admit it. It's the only way for everything else to make sense.
Has he no honor? We still haven't addressed the fact that, hey, I kind of met the killer in my office later. We haven't got to that bit yet, but all in due time, you know. We've just kind of kept that little bit of information to ourselves. The leaks are out.
Man, I think we're done here. This investigation waits for no man. You people will be so kind as to see yourselves out.
You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Ah, but I'm the one who has been assigned to this case. You're all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show.
Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit.
Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself.
But, sir,
We have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now.
Ah, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. And if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful.
Mark my words, Mr. Portsman. We will meet again.
That's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear?
To be continued. Okay, we gotta go to court, I think. Save our progress. This is turnabout visitor. Oh. Where'd it go? Oh, that's the auto save. Okay, so I need to make a new save. March 14th, 4:18 a.m. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor, hallway.
what is with that prosecutor? Can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable.
Please maintain your professionalism, detective.
I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir.
We've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir.
True. So, what now?
Looks like our life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway.
Oh, really, sir?
For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Begin investigation. Okay, we get another one. The sprites are so good. I kind of love like the slightly different style I have for the overworld. It's like a slightly more condensed, but it's still really cute. There's a box here. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny.
Hello?
It's
It's the missing zero series file, sir.
no doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seems to be a few pages missing. A thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind.
What are these zero files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh?
Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine.
Oh,
They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were.
And you better make sure you keep them in good nick. My prodigy. Because if something were to happen to the files, then something will happen to you.
Von Karma, no!
That means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right?
It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing.
Wonder why anyone would care about such an old case.
Okay, doesn't seem to be anything else. A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent.
Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know.
Who was sleeping out here, detective? In a hallway.
Whatever I do, I always end up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful?
Maybe I should give it a try sometime. Envision myself winning, naturally. Okay. Evidence collected there. I can't go down the hallway further here. There is a...
There's just a basketball court set up.
Okay, that doesn't seem that professional. What is a basketball doing here?
This is Mr. Portsmouth's prized possession, sir. Here, he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis.
Not a single one of these sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. Why is this here? What is a basketball hoop doing here?
Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago?
When why was it moved indoors?
I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently.
Drag it?
Here, that wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself.
All the way up to the 12th floor. Is everything alright? Yes, sir. You must know. I weighed myself this morning, and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Sure. Good job. But I was asking about the hallway. Oh, everything's okay, sir. Word of advice. Stay focused. I may start to lose even more weight. He's doing great. Oh my god, he's back.
It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste.
Sounds like a messy case you've got in your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open.
How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who's this guy again? Okay, it's a Maggie guy ending for us. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. Countless as chance passed me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her, but why? Okay, so I can present evidence. Okay, I gotta like double Y here. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge, where the security room's reception window is. So I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Okay, the murder was committed between those times. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say, except for this time, correct? Well, I admit I was a bit careless. I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it on that I left it sitting out on the ledge. To use the master key. Okay, why did you use the master key? What do you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. Oh. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsmouth, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Forgetful Mr. Portsmouth. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsmouth had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him. No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsmouth to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see.
And then, what happened after that?
Well, he called for me to come close up to his office. He called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Okay. Alright. That's important. Talk about suspicious. I doubt you can say that you've never left your keys at home, Detective. This calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Okay, hang on. So let's check the door. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Room 1203. I take it this is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you are already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like this. Like his birthday is December 2nd. I mean, that makes sense. Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. Well, case closed, gang. He's innocent. I can think of at least 3. Bah. Why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Check the lock. The door's locked tight.
I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through.
Well, I guess only a great cat burglar would get in. That must be where our culprit is.
Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from?
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. He's laying into him. That's a good one.
Remember that one.
Woo! It's Mr. Portsmouth's personal basketball hoop.
Can't believe you put something like this in the hallway of a prosecutor's office.
Well, you know, it's actually pretty useful, sir. I've gotten lost trying to get to your office since it's been here.
How long have I had the same office, and yet you still managed to get lost? Interesting. Door. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood.
Kind of majestic, too. Fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's offices. Even Mr. Portsmouth seems dignified, just because he works behind one of these.
Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works.
Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne.
Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Okay, that seems to be everything we can investigate here at the door. Is it worth investigating our own door? Rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. 1202, these 4 numbers on the number plate alone proclaim this to be my office.
Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir.
They have to be able to take the plane off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Is there a world where, like, the doors were changed? Or the number plates? I don't know. I don't see any signs of forced entry.
And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir.
I mean, the door was really open. Really was open with a key. Okay. The number plates were swapped, right? Maggie didn't notice because it's late at night. The basketball hoop had been moved to Edgeworth's office, and she unknowingly let him in to Edgeworth's office. That's what's going on here. And he was like hiding in ambush. Well, he got into the office looking for case files, but then maybe he was interrupted by his partner, Buddy Fate. And maybe he was interrupted by his partner, Buddy Fate, because maybe he hadn't swapped back the numbers yet on the doors. And so Buddy thought he was going back to his friend's office. Okay. Now to spend the next hour to see if we're correct. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob?
Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped it, I think.
Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's sturdily made, making it near impossible to break in by force. Is like Edgeworth preparing for like just like home store sales or something, you know? This isn't just any waiting room bench. This is a sturdy, lush fabric that cleans easily and you can park your butt on for ample waiting time. He loves doors. Like, he does. Like, he's going a bit too into it. He's sponsored by IKEA. He might actually be.
I raised him well as my bastard son. He knows a good Billy bookcase when he sees one.
Von Karma, you can't just introduce him to cheap, affordable Swedish construction like that. It's irresponsible. Think of the savings he'll make. Thank you, Capcom, for sponsoring this stream. Let's be clear here. That was a joke. Let's not cross our wires.
It's almost majestic, sir. I wish it could be as stately as this door.
Only Gumshoe would praise a door as something greater than himself. Being a detective has his own rewards, and a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential. That's a remarkable trait that anyone can admire.
Struggle with that word.
This is a lot of insight to get off inspecting a door.
I see. So you're saying, sir, that even me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone.
Sure.
That long pause wasn't exactly reassured, sir.
So mean. We're so mean. Okay, so it's possible the number plates were changed. No, it's incredibly likely that the number plates were changed. Okay, anything else from Maggie? The victim. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Fate was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir.
That sounds like fun. Just once, I'd love to play with him.
Sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Fate ever did was pass him the ball, sir.
On second thought, I don't think I'd fit in that well with him.
Kronos, thank you for 1,000 bits. We talked about furniture in every investigation of the first Phoenix Wright game. We just saw none of those investigations. In every case where we were up against him. Like Edgeworth was just like, wow, the craftsmanship. Is that a Kallax they have in this office? Hey, Maggie Bird? It's Maggie Bird, correct? I take it you are an acquaintance of the detective.
She was under my supervision back when she was still in the first force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder, and things started going downhill, so she quit.
But I owe it a lot. I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. So I thought until a few hours ago, right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building. I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've ever taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster. And now, I even managed to be named a criminal, just when I become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know, and just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird. Nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case, and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is your cooperation. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. Okay. Seems to be everything. Can I present anything else? The missing case file? This is a lowly security guard. No, she doesn't make anything of that. Maybe the gun issued by detectives? Would she recognize them? No, she doesn't recognize them. Miss Bird, did you know that I'm a prosecutor in this building? That's a prosecutor's badge, isn't it? It proves that you're really a prosecutor! They said it, not me! Interesting. Despite all appearances, she seems to know more than Gumshoe. With that badge, even I could be a professional prosecutor. Sir, may I please try it on? Just for a little bit. I don't think that would be a very good idea, do you? I guess not. On second thought, they're actually on the same level. Actually canon to present the badge. Incredible. Okay. It's time to start the deucing. Okay, the master key was stolen, but it got used as well. Put these together. Hey, Spirit. I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal. I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I totally forgotten all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right, it was around that very time I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. And you couldn't have told us this when you were being suspected of committing the murder. Like, you couldn't have told us this sooner. I'm trying to help you. You pretended. Yeah, I used my master key and made it look like I was locking it up, sir. So in actuality, you never did relock the door then. Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hadn't been locked up properly. Okay, alright, that's pretty unfortunate. She's not the best security guard, is she? Okay, what other logic do we have? Could there be another handgun in play? And then the files. Is there anything else I can present? Present the door. I've had to open Mr. Portsman's office up for him a number of times before. I've also had the chance to see the inside of his office on a number of occasions too. He's got shelves upon shelves of sports memorabilia, trophies, and awards in it. To the point where it's almost beyond gaudy, sir. But maybe I just feel that way because I'm jealous since I don't have even a single one.
Don't say that, Maggie. I'll make a special Guard of the Month award just for you.
What a sweetheart. Thanks for trying, but I've already got a mountain of consolation prizes, sir. They're proof of just how unbelievably unlucky my life has been. Plus, getting an award from you just isn't the same as getting a real award, sir.
Okay, with Gumshoe, he shot his shot.
Absolutely shot down. Man just took mental damage. Okay, profiles. Is there anything else I can ask? I don't think there's anything else I can present. We've investigated pretty much everything here. I can talk to Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Talking to witnesses. About Miss Bird.
No way she's the killer. Please don't tell me you buy into the accusation, sir.
Rest assured, I think she's innocent. However, I need to ask her a few things regarding her security guard position.
Well, if you only ask her, that's okay. Just stand next to her, then proceed.
Okay, now we've got that. Gumshoe's kind of guiding you along. I mean, it's the first level of the game. It's like tutorial sense. It is quite a bit different to any Phoenix Wright game we've played thus far. A little bit. See the similarities. Yeah, you gotta show things. Gumshoe is here to help. Show me the evidence in the same way, too. I gotta ask questions of Miss Bird. Can I present anything to Gumshoe? Present the door? I'm just a lowly detective. Does he know anything about the gun?
Victim's gun, huh? It's the same model as mine.
A tool used to protect lives, yet one that can also take lives away. Those who take a gun in hand wield a great responsibility. I hope you understand that.
I don't really use my gun at all, sir. The only time I would use this baby is when I'm fighting a hot duel with a convict to look ultra cool.
You were doing so well until that last bit. He was doing so well. Can I enter the room? I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can here. There's something else on the bench to investigate? I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. I bet the thief's not under here.
Guess there isn't enough space for anyone to hide under here anyway. I mean, if someone could contort themselves to fit, I'd be really impressed. Doesn't mean like somebody has already tried at least once before. Okay, no, that's what we missed there. What was it I can do while I'm investigating? I can press the door. Can I press Y here? No? I actually can't get into the rooms. So I can't present anything here. Oh, this one has deduce. Okay. Spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold. Bird unlocked the door, but the master key was stolen, so she could not lock up. Oh, the door is still locked. Okay. Present. There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Oh, you know you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I am certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means, what, sir? Yeah, it means that he actually does have the key to his office. But the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. He opened a different door. How could you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is, we need to examine these. Prints on the number plate, because they could have swapped them. Prints on the number plate. They will tell us all we need to know. Everything. Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for... No? Okay, never mind. We know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Whoa! That was amazing, sir. How did you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Now we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... too far ahead. Prints of the doorknob, but the doorknobs were wiped clean, were they not? This is the biggest 180 in tone I've ever seen. So prints on the key, maybe? Having the fingerprints on the master key. Well, if that's what you want to examine, sir, that was the very first thing we did. I could tell you we didn't find any prints other than Maggie's. Okay, no. I mean, I didn't realize that's been done. That's so brilliant, Mr. Edgeworth. What can we deduce from that? Ah, well. I'll tell you what I've deduced. I think this means that the culprit wiped the prints off. Still took psychic damage for that. However, the more important matter is, we need to examine these. Yeah, the prints on the doorknob. Prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you. Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, did you find out who did it? Oh, so, what'd you find out? Don't need for such belligerent nostril flaring, detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman and Mr. Fate's prints on this doorknob. Only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Whose prints should also be on this doorknob. I mean, it should be Jacques. This is his office.
Take that!
Wait, no, they said sorry. I thought they said it was only Fate and Bird. So close. Okay, sorry, I misread that a moment. We already found Mr. Portsman and Mr. Fate's prints, sir. Ah! My pride!
Edgeworth, you bumbling buffoon! I raised you better than that!
Okay. No, Maggie's prints should be on the door. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean? Yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Spurs says she unlocked this door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob. Huh? What have we here? Oh. Must have inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. My God! That's a World Series basketball! It's basketball property of Mr. Portsman. Yes, sir. He was always ready for a match.
Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although, it can be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Oh, oh.
That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective.
You're right, sir. What should I be... Well, now what should I be focusing on? And Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing.
I think we've reached the end of this conversation.
It's gotta be this.
What is this?
It's like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it.
Looks like a note from the victim. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later. Okay.
And it's for Mr. Portsman.
Note left by victim. That's pretty important. Oh, it's been moved as well. Look at that. It's not quite back right. What's this?
What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey. How about a game?
That's okay, Detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off.
Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it's shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk.
Position of the hoop is definitely unnatural. Better take note of this. Okay, so yeah, we know what he's done. I think we figured it out. Investigation complete. You get a full heal. Poking around in this hallway is actually paying off quite handsomely.
Huh? How so, sir?
In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman.
What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic sense would tell me, too. I suspect it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir.
That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen. Feels a bit weird to say that in the singular. Prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on Truth's door. He's got a big smile considering like his friend is just murdered there.
Dude in the corner is like, I just dropped my contact lens. Nobody move until I find it.
Mr. Portsman, I finished processing the bloody letters, sir.
Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there. Take a good look at this.
Whoa!
Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe.
End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now.
Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. This some kind of joke?
It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case.
You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. I guess you can stay. Promise to stay out of our way.
You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job. I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl.
Aha! Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right?
Don't you dare say his name.
A legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know?
Are you done trying to play mind games with me? Because they won't work. Welcome back, Voldemort. Do not say his name. The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up.
Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though we've yet to prove anything. Do it, Edgeworth, my boy. Let the hate flow through you, Edgeworth. Win this case in precisely 3 minutes and uphold the family name.
On camera, no!
I have no idea what sort of harebrained idea you have in mind, but there's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how, may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Look, I feel bad doing this to you, but I've got the work to do, so we're done here.
Sorry, but we're not finished yet.
Boy, you're stubborn. I suppose you're basing your accusations on something.
Show you what I'm basing my accusations on.
With evidence.
Send him to the chemical factory. Here we go. Okay. So, nothing really there. There's a mountain of evidence that points away from me being the culprit. Besides, how may I ask, do you propose I unlocked your door and got in here? Present. Signs that it's been moved. The master key was stolen.
Objection!
I believe you are able to open my office door with the master key, no less.
Objection!
Wait. Hold on a second. I never laid a finger on that key, as you already know.
Precisely. You were able to open my door without lifting a single finger. Well, maybe you did, but only to direct.
Eh?
That's right. You used your finger to direct this person to open my door with the key. Maggie Bird.
Take that!
You had asked Miss Bird to open your own office door for you, yes?
Yeah, I kind of forgot my key at home. Happens a bit too often for my taste, you know?
The room you had Miss Bird open at that time was not your own, was it? What?
You have quite the imagination. Why don't we ask the girl herself whose door she opened, shall we?
I'm certain that it was Mr. Portsman's door, sir. I checked the number plate to make sure I was opening the right door, sir.
See, Miss Bird backs up my story.
Yeah, what if you had misled her to fool her into thinking what you wanted? Oh, I muted it in time of a sneeze. I'm actually quite proud of myself. I actually got it. We're good.
Ah, how do you suppose I did that?
By switching the number plates on our doors, for example. That's right. They do slide out pretty easily. Furthermore, you used one other thing to give a very strong impression. That the door she was opening was yours, and not in fact mine. What was it that Mr. Portsman used to make Miss Bird think that it was his room? It was the basketball hoop, which had been moved.
Take that!
What? The basketball hoop, sir? It's quite the peculiar fixture in any hallway, let alone a hallway in this building. Which is why I left an unusually strong impression on you. It's an object perfectly suited to sit just outside the office of a peculiar prosecutor.
Ah!
That's very true, sir, because there was a basketball hoop sitting there. I thought the door I was opening had to be Mr. Portsman's. There are signs that the hoop has been moved. To sit it in front of my office, to be sure.
I see. That's how you throw suspicion on people. Thanks for the tip. But I think your conjecture is a little off the racetrack.
Conjecture's rebuttal.
Now you're just spouting nonsense. I had the girl open my office door. After that, I was in my room the entire time. You don't have a single reason to suspect me.
Okay, but his door wasn't opened. Yep. We got it.
It's pure as innocent as my jacket. Miss Bird is as dirty and guilty as the jacket she wears.
Okay, just because she doesn't make like a flapping motion with her jacket every 2 minutes. My jacket's not dirty, I'll have you know. I just washed it yesterday. Please calm down, for I intend to show who is the one truly covered in slime here. Damn, he's good. He's trying to fly away. Get him. I had the girl open my office door. Okay. Present. Miss Bird says she's unlocked this door, but her prints were not found on the doorknob.
Objection!
We got him. I had your door dusted for prints.
My door? How? What for? But I bet you didn't find anything. You sure are good at wasting time.
You're right. I didn't find anything. And definitely not Miss Bird's fingerprints.
Her prints? What do they have to do with anything?
Let's put it this way. If she really was the one who opened your door, then her prints should naturally be on the doorknob she touched.
Ah!
Further, all of the prints in my office door's knob have been wiped clean off. I can only assume it's because Miss Bird's fingerprints were on it.
Objection!
But it doesn't change the fact that I was in my room the entire time.
Is that really a fact, or is it fiction?
Hey, would I lie to you?
I have here proof that you were not in your room the entire time as you claim. Found under the door for the absent portsman.
Take that!
This is a note that the victim left for you, Mr. Portsman.
A note.
It was left under your door. Did you not notice? And right here it says, "But you're out." You were not in your room when the victim came to call on you. So, then, where were you and what were you doing?
Ah!
Don't you think it's time you gave up your charade? We know you stole into my office with the intent of stealing something from me. And Detective Fate found you out. Possibly because he heard sounds coming from a room whose occupant was on leave. Mr. Portsman, you killed Mr. Fate to silence him. And I had the misfortune to return when I did. You had to threaten me as you escaped. As I said when you had the gun to my back, no one gets away with committing murder in my office.
I really just should have killed you in retrospect.
And just what's so funny, pal?
Well, that look of stiff seriousness on the face of this office's finest prosecutor, as he makes a huge mistake in accusing me, is simply too much to bear. There's nothing else like it in the world.
What? Mr. Edgeworth just explained it all, and he even backed it up. You're the murderer. Stop trying to be slippery and just admit to the crime already.
And as I said earlier, it's all so circumstantial, so full of conjecture. You say you checked my doorknob for prints? Well, I can readily confess that I had wiped that knob down as well. I'm a little obsessive-compulsive, you see. I didn't want to touch a doorknob that you had touched, which is why I wiped the knob down as soon as I could after you opened the door. After that, it makes perfect sense that only Jim's and my own prints would be on there.
Okay. I don't think he understands how that works. We're just gonna let him flap a moment. It makes no sense.
Oh, you made it up just now, didn't you? Heard him ask for the note Jim left for me. Do you know exactly when that was? For all we know, he could have left it there before I arrived at the office. Like early evening, for example.
Are you saying you failed to notice a note in your doorway?
Hey, even geniuses fail at times. I was probably too preoccupied by work-related matters. Well, that's no excuse.
Now, that's just a flat-out lie. There's no way you didn't notice a note that size.
But you can't prove that, can you?
Say something, Mr. Edgeworth. Back me up here, sir. Postman makes a good point. But he's claiming you can't wipe a doorknob and, like, be selective with whose fingerprints you remove.
But yes, for you see, Edgeworth, Mr. Portsman sent the doorknob to the chemical factory ahead of time. He had the fingerprints burned off the doorknob. But Karma, no! He's done it again! Besides, I have an airtight alibi.
Airtight, you say?
I only just realized I had one as we were talking. I guess it would have been better for all of us if I had told you sooner.
Portsman's alibi. We're just not gonna overlook this, like, weird fingerprint situation? No?
Memory serves, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? It was then that you had that unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. At exactly that time, I was down in criminal affairs. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi.
Do you really think it's that perfect?
Like I said, I don't care. Ask around all you like. You'll see for yourself.
Detective Gumshoe. Sir, yes, sir. I'll go check out his alibi, sir. Be right back. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I think we're in trouble. It's just like Mr. Portsmouth said. The guys down in Criminal Affairs said they saw him at around 2 a.m.
You see?
All of the evidence points to him being the culprit. So there must be a contradictory point in his alibi somewhere. Okay, let's see. Okay, you came back to this office at around 2 a.m., correct? The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. Okay. It was then that you had the unfortunate confrontation at gunpoint with the culprit. Did I mention that? Preston.
Hold it!
As you say, however.
Yes, however, you're the only one who claims to have bumped into the culprit. But tell me, did you see the person's face? Was it me who you saw?
It was pitch black, so I couldn't actually see.
Objection!
Oh, come now. I'm sure you saw something. Try a little harder, why don't you?
Beginning to feel like I'm the one being interrogated here.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if you remember or not. It only matters that you ran into the culprit.
Exactly that time, I was down in Criminal Affairs. Okay. Is it gonna be where it's 2 a.m.? Because he's saying it was around 2 a.m. at exactly 2 a.m. He could have just walked from Criminal Affairs. Exactly and around are two different things. Exactly that time.
Objection!
No? I'm surprised it's not that. Okay. Let's remain calm. Ask around. I'm sure the other detectives will corroborate my story. It's the perfect alibi. At around 2 a.m. Is it? I think it's still this.
Objection!
No, it's not. What did the note say? Brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about on the phone. It looks like you're out. I'll catch up to you later. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like has a mention of time. Teleportation. Gotta be the solution. Exactly that time I was down in Criminal Affairs. He walked through the walls of courts. But he was out.
Objection!
No? The note's not gonna help. Check the thinker statue. Okay, maybe I just gotta press more. Yep.
Hold it!
So you paid the Criminal Affairs Department a visit.
Yep, right after I left the prosecutor's building, I headed straight for the precinct.
Hold it!
Keep pressing. You're correct, it was around 2 a.m.
Sure, it's really important to me that you're spot on with the time.
I remember checking my watch then, and make no mistake, it was 2.
Oh, giving testimony like a pro. Okay, so you came back to your office at 2.
Okay, but like, the key was stolen. Is it just presenting the door?
Objection!
No? I'm missing something. I mean, I know it's him. I would reckon it's the fingerprint situation. We should get back to that. I think it's exactly that time. I think it's this prompt. Is it just the key?
Objection!
No? Mr. Portsman, there's a large flaw in your logic. No, there isn't. If the help bar is there, you're in trouble. Clearly the man is innocent, RT. RT cannot find anything on him. He's got to be innocent. I'm just not sure what logic we're looking for. If memory serves, he came back to this office at around 2 a.m. I pressed him on everything, didn't I?
Hold it!
And well, we did go around and ask to confirm your testimony.
It was just as I said, right?
Yes, sir. A number of detectives said that they saw you at around that time.
See? I have the perfect alibi. It's the ace out of my sleeve.
Possible. He actually does have the perfect alibi.
What's wrong? Why does sudden solemn look in your face?
Thanks for heading back, Mr. Edgeworth.
I think we reached the end of the line. It's time to get off this crazy train.
Okay, no, we're not supposed to get him yet.
You there.
Sir.
Please escort the young lady out. Remember, be gentle.
Maggie. Detective Gumshoe. Is there nothing I can do? There must be a way to turn this situation around. If only I had a clue. Did I miss something that can help me cast doubt in his alibi? Mr. Portsman's alibi. The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman. Then who could it have been? I need to calmly think this through one more time. And with logic. Was Fate involved in it? I would have thought he was just dead because he was shot. But did he try to protect him? After the fact? Oh no. Could be another gun in play. The intruder I met could not have been Mr. Portsman, then who could it have been? I mean, it's got to be that, and then files in disarray? Try connect. Evidence points to the shells being disturbed once before and once after the murder. But who is to say that the person who did it the second time is the same as the first? Which could mean that there was another person who paid a visit to my office tonight. Another visitor. Maybe the victim and his killer weren't the only visitors to my office tonight. Another handgun, another visitor. Where are we going with this? I don't think there is, though. If indeed there were two culprits. Then that resolves the contradiction behind our murder weapon. No, it must have been Fate, because they must have been complicit in some crime together, and then Portsman turned on Fate after they covered up the crime to get him out of the picture. That must be it. Fate's got to be complicit in it. Despite the fact that there are 2 bullets here in this room. The murder weapon only shows signs of being fired once. Even the possibility that the other bullet was fired from the other visitor's gun. Furthermore, if we suppose that the second culprit's gun was the one that was pointed at my back.
Objection!
Mr. Portsman, it seems that I need to amend my assumptions regarding this case.
Right, so you finally come to your senses.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Sir, what are you saying?
this has been a big misunderstanding on my part, from the start. I had assumed that the person I ran into was the killer, but that may not be the case.
What do you mean?
The person I ran into was just your average thief.
A thief? But sir, doesn't that cause some sort of contradiction in the facts?
Not at all. It simply means that the killer was someone else. And it means that in actuality, 2 culprits stole into my office tonight.
What do you mean 2?
It explains both why my shelves were disturbed twice and how there were 2 guns. Mr. Portsman tricked Miss Bird and gained entry into my office.
Objection!
Now you're just leading the argument. You still don't have any actual proof, you know.
If you could please go along with my hypothetical scenario for now, Mr. Portsman. In the end, if you really are innocent, you should have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, in return to my scenario, Mr. Portsman was out to steal something from me. Which is why he checked my secret safe and ransacked my shelves. This is the first time.
So this would be when the files were put back in the wrong order, right?
Correct. And then, just when he was about to look somewhere else, who should walk in but his own partner, Mr. Fate?
Why did Mr. Fate come into your room, sir?
He probably had business with Mr. Portsman, which is why he was in the area. But that's when he noticed sounds coming from my office, would be my guess. Oh, because he was supposed to be away, right?
And he must have thought it was odd, so we came into this office to check it out.
Correct. And as a detective, that was the right thing to do. But when he came in, he found his own partner standing there. Because it was Mr. Portsman, Mr. Fate probably let his guard down. But Mr. Portsman was not so merciful as to let him leave alive. He waited for a chance and stole Mr. Fate's gun from him, and then he killed him. He silenced Mr. Fate for catching him in the act of stealing.
We got him.
This was the moment in which the first shot was fired, the one that landed in my files. Following that, Mr. Portsman wiped the gun down and left it behind as he made his exit. He could afford to do that because he had also left a fake dying message behind.
You're such a complicated troublemaker. You know that.
Well, if things are as simple as that, then all will be solved. However, there was yet another visitor to my room, and this is where it gets complicated.
There was another.
Visitor, sir.
Yes, and this other person's objective was also to steal something from me. Now then, even after Mr. Portsman left, the door to my office remained unlocked. However, this new visitor had no way of knowing that, and so they stole the master key from the security guard's room. And then entered my room and searched through my shelves. This is the second time they were disturbed, and it seems the thief found their prize.
Stolen all 0 file, right, sir?
Correct. Only just as the thief was about to leave with the file, I appeared. The thief then threatened me with their own gun and made their escape. The second bullet was fired during that brief encounter.
So the shelves getting messed up twice in the 2 bullets. It was all because 2 different people were doing those things at 2 different times.
Precisely. So now do you see, Mr. Portsman? The person I met was just a thief, and was not in fact Mr. Fate's killer. Your alibi for the time frame in which I ran into the other person is now irrelevant. Because we know that the murder took place during the first culprit's visit.
Objection!
What's so funny, pal?
Absolutely splendid. Your scenario explains everything.
Of course it does. It's Mr. Edgeworth, after all.
But you know, it still doesn't change the fact that it's all circumstantial. Suppose an if, and that's a big if, your theory is right. It would indeed render my alibi, which has withstood scrutiny, mind you, irrelevant. But there is still one defining point of your argument, for which you have no evidence. Your supposition that I was the first visitor.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. You can't let him get away with that, sir.
But he has a point. I have absolutely no proof at this point. Don't say that, sir.
I don't believe this. Don't worry, Maggie. I'll do something if I must.
You know, I find your attitude to be somewhat peculiar, Mr. Edgeworth. The person you met really was just a plain old thief. And why is that person not your main suspect? That is, your theory is correct.
Like this. Okay, there's no way. There's no way it's a different guy, right? Unless there's some larger plot point that we just don't know and it actually is. No, it can't be.
That thief you ran into should be your real suspect, wouldn't you say? We should be out there looking for that thief right now. It might still be nearby. I hate to repeat myself, but as I've already said, I was training in my room. And when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. So I can't be expected to know what happened around here after I left.
So you think we should be out there looking for this thief?
Of course. Now isn't the time to be having these dead-end discussions.
I don't think it's at all dead-ended. I find your alibi to be fascinating. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? I know he's lying. I know he was here at the scene of the crime. I just have to find a way to prove it. Portsman's Alibi Part 2. Okay. There's some bopping music for this accusation. Let's go. It's a club in here. A man is down on the ground. I'm having a great time. He should be a real suspect. We should be out there looking for that thief right now. They might still be nearby. Repeat myself, as I've already said. I was training in my room. What do you mean by training? But according to Mr. Fate's note.
Hold on, I thought we already cleared that up. Didn't we say that Jim left that note for me in the early evening? It proved that he left it at a different time, say, just before he was murdered.
I don't have any, no.
You see, so I insist again, I was in my office the entire time.
Jim came to deliver some evidence to me. I was down at Criminal Affairs. Ooh, does that add up? Does that add up? Guess I'll catch up to you later. Can't be expected to know what happened here after I left. The man is dead. Kick it! Basically what's happening here. I'm trying to work out where the hole in the logic here is. I was training in my room, but you weren't. I was training in my room when Jim came to deliver some evidence to me. I was down at Criminal Affairs. Thief might still be nearby. Press.
Hold it!
Once escaped. I highly doubt a thief would linger nearby.
Well, you never know. We didn't get what they were really after.
Oh? You talk like you know quite a bit about this thief.
It's nothing like that. I have no idea about anything after all.
Jim came to deliver some evidence to me. I was down at Criminal Affairs. Important? Wouldn't he just be down there? Oh, Jim was already dead. He was down at Criminal Affairs. What? When Jim came to deliver some evidence to me, I was down at Criminal Affairs. Jim was dead.
Objection!
No? Is it not there? He was down at Criminal Affairs at 2 a.m., which is when Edgeworth got back. I'm surprised it's not that. Let's just jam out to the music. We have a new thing for the criminal? No? Jim is a nickname for Fate, yeah. Press it.
Hold it!
Why didn't you go there with Mr. Fate?
That's because he said he was tired and was going to take a quick nap. You know those sofas in the hallway? He likes to sleep on those. It's one of his habits.
What of the evidence he brought?
Everything's related to yesterday's case. Just 2 items. A gun and a pendant.
Okay, that's important info. Interesting. This piece of testimony seems too crucial to let slip through the cracks.
Brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. Press it.
Hold it!
Gun and a pendant.
Yeah, this gun, which was the murder weapon. This pendant, which belonged to the victim.
And why were you taking them to criminal affairs?
There was something in a past case file I wanted to compare these two to. All this has nothing to do with the case right now. Anyway, I believe you'll find the long paper trail left to be to your satisfaction.
This is all matching up with Detective Gumshoe found out. He brought me 2 items, a gun and a pendant that are related to yesterday's case. But the note specifies 3.
Objection!
Only 2 pieces. I believe the proper phrase here is, you fail.
Excuse me?
You fail as a prosecutor, Mr. Portsman, as you intend to keep evidence hidden from me.
What are you talking about? I haven't hidden anything from you.
Well, here's a piece I think you should read. Carefully. Ah, it says that Mr. Fate was bringing 3 pieces. Yes, and this is the victim's real dying message to you, Mr. Portsman.
I can't believe I get tripped up by simple arithmetic.
Where is the missing piece of evidence?
It's... Oh, clumsy me, I simply forgot.
You have it, don't you? Only the guilty would make such a face. Detective Gumshoe.
You don't have to say it, sir. I'll pat the guy down from head to toe.
Don't come any closer, I'm warning you.
This is all part of investigation, pal. Don't even think about stopping me. Hey, what's this? You had this on him, sir.
Despite what you said, it would appear that you do have something to hide.
Why would he hide something like that?
There's only one reason why anyone would hide evidence of this caliber. Because it would be unequivocally... It would unequivocally point to the person himself as the real killer. Let's examine this videotape in a little more detail. For the section of the tape that will drive the last nail into his coffin. It's the KG8 incident. Okay. There's just blood on it.
Ah, that's blood, isn't it?
Yes, and I believe this is what the good prosecutor was trying to hide from us. This blood is still fresh.
You mean this might be Detective Fate's blood?
No! You've got it all wrong.
No amount of denial can save you. We have but to run a blood test to find the truth. You told us that you had received evidence from the victim earlier. Now will you tell us, when and how did the victim's blood find its way onto this video? Yeah, it's totally suspicious. Was that the moment of his death? Did Detective Fate have this videotape on his personage when you killed him?
You know very well there's no way to prove that.
And even if we were to examine this tape for fingerprints? If I had to take a guess, I'd say that the only ones on here would belong to the murderous you and Mr. Fate.
No, impossible, I'm...
Mr. Portsman has been placed under arrest for the murder of Detective Buddy Fate, sir.
Very good.
And the results we got back from the lab techs on the tape turned out to be a real solid, sir. Blood work came back, and it was definitely Mr. Fate's blood in there. And as a bonus, they were also able to lift a few of Mr. Fate's fingerprints as well.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edgeworth. I still can't believe I got to see your cool deduction skills outside the courtroom. I'm impressed beyond words, sir. It was none. I'm just sorry you got caught up in a murder in my office. Please accept my apologies. It was nothing, really. Compared to what I've been through, I mean. I consider myself lucky that it was only a burglary. And a murder this time, sir. If it had been a holdup or a hostage situation, I'd have thrown my hands up in the air. I think I'm finally rising up from a goddess of misfortune to just an unlucky person. Something tells me we should have hired a different person for security detail.
You know something, sir? That Mr. Portsmouth really was one corrupt prosecutor.
And why would you say he was corrupt?
Well, I heard there was a number of suspicious things related to his court cases. There's even rumors about how some of the evidence he uses is forged, sir.
Forged evidence, huh?
They say he even decided not to prosecute a few cases for some really vague reasons.
Oh, that guy was a complete disgrace to the entire profession. We never did get around to asking what his reason was for breaking into my office.
Yeah. When we got near that topic, he just clammed up.
Although, we can be pretty certain that it was to steal something.
This is just between you and me, sir, but there's a rumor that some sort of huge organization is involved behind the scenes.
Oh, well. Mr. Portsmouth not willing to divulge anything. It certainly lends credence to that rumor. It would seem that we haven't heard the last of this.
What? And Mr. Portsmouth isn't the bad guy.
I didn't say that, but rather that there are still many more mysteries for us to solve. For example, we still haven't figured out the significance to this piece of evidence. My prosecutor's badge. That proves I am a prosecutor.
Take that!
Oh, sir. I don't think there's any mystery left to that piece.
You might be right there.
I think you've solved this case already, Mr. Edgeworth. The only thing left that we still don't know about is maybe this.
Oh yeah, the O series file! The significance of which we have yet to fully comprehend. The person who stole this file. The other villain of the night.
Yeah, I wonder who it was.
And what happened to the stolen pages? I wonder, who in the world was it that held me up at gunpoint? It actually wasn't him. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Yes? I came across this while I was processing your office earlier, sir. This card.
What is it, sir? Is that a bird or something on there?
It's not just any bird. It's the mark of the raven. A three-legged raven. Even you should know what this is, detective.
Oh, it's about that thing, isn't it? That great thief everyone's talking about.
Yes, it is the mark of the great thief. Yatta Garasu. Under the mark of a legendary bird, the Yatta Garasu is noble to the end. A modern Robin Hood. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, the Yatta Garasu appears and vanishes at will. Though we don't know much about the thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. Yatta Garasu likes to find and make public evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. The theft is always performed in silence, and always with perfection. Once a target is chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement is sent forth. Instead, the chosen corporation is infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some days later, the evidence that was found is sent out to the mass media, along with this single card. Although it has been a while since the Yatta Garasu's last appearance.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, look, something's written on the back.
What? Let me see.
It's the location of where the thief put the stolen files.
So the person who stole the contents of the file was the Yatta Garasu. Yatta Garasu. Organization. Quite a few key words are popping up in this mystery. The murder in my office. The return of the great thief, Yatta Garasu. Looking back, can't say I didn't see these events coming. But they were heralded by the incidents that began to occur 2 days ago.
Case closed.
Yes, for you see, Edgeworth, it was I that was the Yatta Garasu. I needed to take up a side hobby to steal evidence that I could implant on my victims.
No. No! No!
Okay. So 2 Turnabout Airlines. I think we have to leave it there. I don't think we're gonna have enough time. I know who that is. But I think I have to leave it there. I think I might have to leave it there. What time is it? It's 20 to 10 in the evening. Do we know how long the next case is? Curiosity, because that was a long case. That was quite a bit longer than I thought it would be. It's 5 to 8 hours. Yeah, that's too long. That's too long. We're gonna have to park it there. But thank you everyone for coming on round tonight. That was fun. And a massive thank you to Capcom for actually sponsoring me to play this. Genuinely. It's an honor to actually kind of be endorsed by the company here and playing it. We've been recognized for Manfred von Karma. It's one night only. I hope you enjoyed it. Have to see where we go from there. But that was great. That was great. What a hook at the end, too. That's so different to, like, Phoenix Wright games. Like, straight up, there's something you just don't know about yet. Because I feel like with a lot of the other cases, like, it's very much like, no, you kind of reach the definitive end. If you enjoyed tonight's stream, the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection is now available for purchase across multiple platforms. Type !Ace Attorney in chat and you can get a link to it for yourself. Featuring 11 new art style, kind of like iterating off the base versions of the games. I believe even for the second Ace Attorney Investigations game here, it actually never saw a release outside of Japan, which is actually quite huge. And that is in the collection, which is very cool. If you're an Ace Attorney fan, you might want to check it out. It was 13 years. That's crazy. But they did it. Fair play. Please check it out. I am going to park it there. Because there's only so much I can do with my voice in a single night. And if the next case really is 5 to 8 hours, that might be a little too long. That's our one night only. That's our one night only. But that was really fun. That was one night only. I'll leave it up to you. That's not. We're gonna wrap up there. We're gonna park it. Okay. I'm gonna leave you in Sophie's care. I know she's been playing Thank Goodness You're Here and having a good time. I've literally heard her laughing from the hall while I've been streaming. So I'm going to shoot you across to her.
Yes, for you see, chat. It was I that could only stay a single night. You ask for more from the world's perfect prosecutor. Yet I can only present you with a one-night stand.
Like Von Karma, my emotions. Thank you for watching, folks. I will see you all Thursday. Have a good night.